In the early 2000s, the United States was the undisputed king of global technology. Out of 64 frontier tech sectors, America led in 60. From Silicon Valley to Wall Street, the world looked to the US for innovation, breakthroughs, and the future. But fast forward to today, and the story has flipped. Between 2019 and 2023, China surged ahead, now leading in 57 out of those same 64 technologies. This isn't just another economic rivalry. Experts are calling it Chinese Shock 2.0, a seismic shift that could redefine global power, reshape industries, and challenge America's role as the world's innovation hub. So, what exactly is Chinese Shock 2.0? Why does it matter? And most importantly, can the US fight back? Stay tuned, because this is not just about economics. It's about the future of global power. To understand Chinese Shock 2.0, we need to rewind to the early 2000s. Back then, the first China shock hit the US economy like a tidal wave. Cheap Chinese imports flooded American markets. Factories shut down. Millions of manufacturing jobs vanished. Entire towns across the Midwest and Rust Belt were hollowed out. That first shock was about low-cost labor and mass production. China became the world's factory, while the US struggled with job losses and economic dislocation. But here's the key difference. Chinese Shock 2.0 isn't about cheap goods. It's about cutting-edge technology. From 2019 to 2023, China quietly but decisively overtook the US in frontier technologies. We're talking about artificial intelligence, semiconductors, electric vehicle batteries, drones, quantum computing, and green energy. These aren't just industries, they're the backbone of the 21st century economy. Whoever leads here doesn't just dominate markets, they shape geopolitics, military power, and even cultural influence. Think about it. AI isn't just about chatbots, it's about autonomous weapons, predictive intelligence, and global surveillance. Semiconductors aren't just chips, they're the brains of every modern device, from smartphones to fighter jets. EV batteries aren't just powering cars, they're powering the future of energy independence. And in nearly every one of these sectors, China is now ahead. This is why experts call it Chinese Shock 2.0, a disruption far more dangerous than the first. So, how should the US respond? Some argue for tariffs, trade wars, or protectionism. But here's the problem. Those are 20th century solutions for a 21st century problem. Tariffs might slow imports, but they don't create innovation. They don't build semiconductor fabs. They don't train AI engineers. If America wants to compete, it can't just wall itself off. It needs a forward-looking, innovation-driven strategy. So what does that strategy look like? Experts point to several key priorities. Semiconductors. The CHIPS Act is a start, but America needs to massively expand domestic chip production. Without chips, there is no AI, no defense tech, no future economy. Infrastructure, roads, ports, and digital networks must be modernized. Competing in the 21st century requires 21st century infrastructure. Supply chains. The pandemic exposed how fragile global supply chains are. The US must secure critical resources, rare earths, lithium, and advanced materials. Global talent. For decades, America's secret weapon was attracting the world's brightest minds. But restrictive immigration policies are pushing talent elsewhere. Reopening the doors to global innovators is essential. Workforce retraining, AI and automation will disrupt millions of jobs. The US must retrain workers for future-ready industries, not leave them behind. Small businesses. Innovation doesn't just come from tech giants. Small businesses are the backbone of job creation and creativity. Supporting them is critical. This isn't just about catching up to China, it's about rebuilding America's innovation ecosystem. But here's the tricky part. How do you balance open competition with national security? Some argue for total decoupling, cutting China out of US markets entirely. But experts warn that would backfire. Isolation reduces competitiveness, it slows innovation, and it risks splitting the world into two separate tech ecosystems. Instead, the smarter approach may be controlled competition. Allowing limited Chinese participation in US markets could actually push American companies to innovate faster, improve productivity, and stay sharp. It's a delicate balance, but one the US must master. Here's the bottom line. If the US fails to adapt, it risks falling into a low-skill, low-wage trap. Imagine an America where innovation happens elsewhere, where jobs are outsourced, and where the economy stagnates. That's the nightmare scenario, but there's another path. If the US invests boldly in innovation, infrastructure, and talent, Chinese Shock 2.0 could actually become a catalyst. A wake-up call that forces America to reinvent itself, becoming more efficient, more competitive, and more innovative than ever before. The choice is clear. The question is whether America has the vision and courage to act. Chinese Shock 2.0 isn't just a challenge, it's an opportunity. The US has faced shocks before. It has stumbled, but it has always found a way to rise again. The future of global technology leadership is still being written, and whether America leads or lags will depend on the choices made today. So what do you think? Is the US ready to rise to the challenge, or will China's lead become permanent? If you found this analysis insightful, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe for more deep dives into global affairs and geopolitics. Your support helps us bring you fact-based, engaging content every week. Thanks for watching, and stay tuned for our next video, where we'll explore how artificial intelligence is reshaping global power in ways we've only begun to understand.